Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Rich Clark and I'm going to be speaking about this other film for Throwback Thursday, The Matrix. Now, The Matrix is actually, in some respects, is actually part of a book written by a lady called, I think it's something Stewart, her name is. And she wrote The Terminator, which was the pre-beginning with the machines taking over, and then Neo being the person who would actually change the revolution against the machines. Now, The Matrix was done in 1999, so just on the eve of the new millennium. And it's directed by the Wachowskis. Now, the Wachowskis had never done a film before. They'd worked on different films, but this was like their new debut. And The Matrix is the first installation. Now, I prefer the first one. I like the second and third, and I think even the new one has its merits, but I do think the first one's impact was huge. Now, as you know, Keanureeves stars as Neo, an anagram of The One. Laurence Fishburne is Morpheus, and then Carrie Ann Fisher is Trinity, and then you've got Hugo Weaving, which is is Agent Smith, who's basically the person who can be cloned. Now, this dystopian future about humanity is unknowingly people are trapped inside the Matrix, a simulated reality that intelligent machines, or AI, have created to distract humans while using their bodies as an energy source. Now, in spirituality, there's a lot of rumours that we live in a hologram and so forth. So the Matrix was sort of playing on these ideas, and people, you know, David Icke talks about we live in a hologram, we live with all these reptilians and all these things, and everybody else, so all these philosophers come up with this idea that we live in a simulation and so forth.
Do not try and bend the spoon. That's impossible. Instead, only try to realize the truth.
What truth?
There is no spoon.
So the Matrix was kind of pushing this idea, and the 90s was probably where a lot of people were starting to ask a lot of questions about what we see, what our reality is. So this film was mainly the character Thomas Anderson, under the alias name Neo, uncovers the truth. He joins a rebellion against the machines along with other people who are being freed from the Matrix. So the Matrix is an example of cyberpunk subgenre of science fiction, and it's influenced by anime, martial arts, a lot of the ideas, techniques from Hong Kong cinema, and the other influences of the hacker communities, which was very much prevalent in the 90s. So The Matrix was an absolutely massive film. Only had like $63 million budget, made like $500 million. Massive film, very influential to filmmaking for at least the last 24 years. So why is this film important to a hypnotherapist? Why is it important to spiritual people? Well, a couple of things. The film is all about choice, and we see this within which tablet Neo takes.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
So the tablet Neo takes is about whether he wants to do the truth or whether he wants to live a lie. Now, most human beings are in denial of who they are because we live in a fragmented society of what we believe is our reality and not. So the Matrix kind of pushes this ideal that are we living in reality? Are we living in fiction, science fiction? Are we living in reality? Are we living in a simulated reality which we perceive? Now, if you think about it, if because of our brain activity we see the reality we want to see, but someone else can see a reality different to us because we've all got different outtakes and intakes of what we see as reality.
The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. When you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it. Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress?
I was...
Look again. Freeze it.
This isn't the Matrix.
No. It's another training program designed to teach you one thing. If you are not one of us, you are one of them.
What are they?
Sentient program.
The one thing about this is many people have a form of delusion. This delusion is that they believe that they can manipulate the world and they can do all these things, and technology does this and it causes all these problems. But the one thing is we've got to understand is the symbiosis of that technology and humanity is going to always mix. And whether we like it or not, in the future, the technology can be used for good. It also can be used for evil, like everything. Human beings are capable of both. So the idea of choice in this film is about the idea of, do we choose to be awakened, or do we choose to be asleep or live in bliss of ignorance? Now, the idea of this terminology again, which I'm going to also talk about, is the woke propaganda. So people use the term woke as that it's an idea of a leftist idea, but actually it is about the idea which stems back further and further from even the 20s and 30s. The idea of being woke is being awakened to the idea that there's a bigger society out there than we understand. And the reason we start to learn this is by reading, by being educated, and the big thing what's actually made us to look at other countries and how we look at it is by travel. Because before then, we were only told things by books, we were only told things by radio, and then obviously television, and now the internet. But in fact, some of the things when we go to realise this is when reality is totally different. So the Matrix is sort of pushing on our reality, whether we believe it or not. And the one thing is with anything, with even this film, is that the idea is that the thing of all of this is that Neo is told he's the one who's running. He doesn't believe it. He doesn't believe he has the power to change anything. But the empowerment of this person is what changes the way they view life.
Check him. He's gone. Goodbye, Mr. Anderson.
So you see, you can't be dead. You can't be. Because I love you. You hear me? I love you. Now get up.
No.
He is the one.
That is actually what I think is the most important thing, is that if we believe in our own power, that in the power of ourselves as one, we can change as a collective the way the world works. And the only way we can do that is by actually pursuing and understanding that we can do this. That is what I think The Matrix is about. And I think The Matrix film, people say it's not a documentary, it's not, it's a film or whatever. But the idea of this is that the belief of that every person can make a difference. And the film The Matrix, I think, is an absolute emphasis and an epitome of that idea. So, anyway, if you have seen The Matrix, if you haven't, please watch it. Please watch the 3 of them, I think is also good, the trilogy. As much as the trilogy, probably most people don't think the other 2 films are as strong as the first because of the impact it made. It's actually the ideology of the story is very important. And the last one, which was released as of 2 years ago. Unfortunately, it was released during COVID, so it was very difficult to actually do well. But it also is important because it talks about the revolution of AI and how it was manipulated. So it's actually quite interesting how we look at life now and probably the future of what could happen. Whether it does or not, that's up to us because it's our choice and our decisions, right? I suppose. So anyway, if you are interested, if you have issues with the idea of empowerment and that you feel that you can't make a difference, but you want to make a difference, then please look on my website. The link is below, and also you'll be able to find, and it's below in the description, not like a link, sorry. And please, if you want to talk to me, I want discussions with people about this and more than willing to talk about it. And anyway, please watch the film. Please like and subscribe if you wish, and then obviously this will help me to do more videos, talk about more interesting subjects, and why I use these films to actually help talk about subjects which are important to people. Anyway, have a good day, have a good evening, have a good afternoon.